So if I give you this, if I asked you to multiply it, right? And that's what it means, the two beside each other. How many multiplications do you have to do? Two? Four is correct. What is wrong with you guys that you're so afraid to, how many said four to themselves? Be honest. What?
I said it out loud. I said it out loud.
I didn't hear you.
I haven't come back from really good. But like,
Did you say it out loud? I didn't hear you. Well, I didn't. So then help her out. If I didn't hear, help her out then. Don't just leave her hanging. Help him out. Don't leave him hanging. Four multiplications. I'm not going to do the actual multiplications. Because you got to go yoink, 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 yoink. Okay? And then simplify. What if we're doing something a little different? How many do you think you do here? I heard it, but you know, it's just so quiet. Why? Why? You said it, and you said it right. Okay, but we're not gonna repeat it because we're gonna wait for somebody else. Oh, because you all heard Susie.
yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yes, 6 multiplications. So we've got to do this, and then we've got to do this. And then we've got to simplify as much as we can after that. So remember, when we're multiplying powers, if it's just an x, think of it like it's x to the first. What is 2x times x squared? 2x times x squared. 2x to the third, or 2x cubed. 2x times 3x. 6x squared. 2x times minus 4. Negative 8x. Go back and run through the 5. 5 times x squared. 5x squared. 5 times 3x. And 5 times minus 4. And now we have to collect like terms. Remember, when we collect like terms, the exponents don't change. They only change when we multiply or divide them. Well, 2x to the third, there's no other x to the thirds. What about the x squareds? 11 of them. What about the x's? 7 of them. So positive 7x. And there's no other number besides negative 20. So we get that. How many multiplications would you do in the next one? Oh boy. 9. Good. Well done. So we gotta go like this. And then we gotta go like this. And then we gotta go back here and go like this. We got to take every term in the first one and run it through. Negative 3p squared times 4p squared. Negative 12p to the 4. Negative 3p squared times negative p. Positive 3p to the third, or p cubed. Negative 3p squared times negative 6.
Positive 18. B squared.
B squared. And now we've got to go back to the 3p and run it through everything in the second set. So what are the three I get when I do my three multiplications?
Plus 12 U 3
Plus 12p
U.
u. Next. Bless you.
Subtract 3b squared.
Subtract 3p squared, correct.
Subtract 18b.
Next. Subtract 18p. And then finally, we go back to the first set of parentheses and run the 2 through the second set.
Negative 8b squared.
Negative 8p squared,
Positive 2b.
positive 2p,
Positive 12.
positive 12. And then I've got to collect any like terms that I can. So I'm just going to start here. There's no other p to the fourths. There's only one, and that's negative 12. What about the p to the thirds?
Positive 15.
Yeah, positive 15 of them. P to the thirds. The p squareds, I've got 3 of them. And 7 is correct, and it's positive. Positive 7p squared. The p's
Plus 22.
plus, sorry,
14.
14p.
Negative 16.
I've got negative 18p and positive 2p. Negative 16p. And then if the 12 doesn't combine with anything, that's as far as I can go. Okay? Okay. I'd like you to do example 2b. You should be able to do that one before we move on to 2a. Is yx the same as xy? Yes. So when I do my negative 2y times 4x, I'm just going to write it as xy again. So that's what you should get after the first. And then we want to collect any like terms, but the only ones that look like we can combine are these two. So there's no other x squared, 12x squared. These combine to minus 17xy. And then notice I'm just writing from right to left, or I'm working my way from right to left. Okay. We should get that. Hopefully that's what you got. You do got to be careful, okay, because it's easy to make a little mistake. You're doing a lot of multiplications and then a lot of collecting. All right, this one. Sometimes students have a little trouble with one like this. Now, parentheses mean that you keep everything inside together, right? So if I square something, what does that mean? What does squaring mean? Timesing by itself. So I've got to take this 2r plus 5t, parentheses and all, and times it by itself again. Notice that's 4 multiplications. Common mistake students will make is they'll go 2r squared plus 5t squared, and they'll do 2 squares. No, it doesn't work that way. The parentheses mean you've got to keep these together. You can't separate them. And then you've got to take them and multiply them by its identical self. So it's 4 sets of parentheses. What would it get when I multiply through? 4r squared plus 10 RT plus 10 TR, or I'm just going to write it RT. TR is still right. And then finally, plus 25T squared. And then I can simplify the 2 in the middle to get 4R squared plus 20RT plus 25T squared. Finalize. Okay, so let's take our understanding of all that stuff and do one like this. Ooh. Order of operations, what would you do first? What's happening between these two? What's happening to them? What are they? They're getting multiplied. And these two are getting multiplied. And then I've got some adding going on. What do I do first? Right, so I've got to do these first. The adding I do at the end. So we've got to do 4 multiplications for each one. So I get 2c squared plus 10c minus 3c minus 15. That answer has to stay together. What symbols do I use to keep a bunch of terms together? Right, so you need parentheses. Then I'm going to have plus. And then I'm going to have my second multiplication answer, which needs to be held together in parentheses. So I get negative 3c squared plus c minus 9c minus 3. Okay? Yeah. Did I make a mistake?
It's negative. Yeah.
Negative 3c squared.
So both of them are negatives when you multiply -3 by -3.
Oh, plus 9c squared. Is that what that's? No, plus 9c. Yes, you're right. Thank you. And now, remember, like we did last year, we have to take out the parentheses. Remember, if there's a plus in front, nothing changes, does it? So we assume there's a positive in front here, so I can just remove these. There's a plus in front here. So, well, plus and minus make what? So it's just minus 3 squared plus c plus 9c minus 3. And if there's a positive in front of parentheses, it doesn't affect the signs. They all stay the same. And then I just combine. What do I get for the c squareds? One or 2c squared minus 3c squared. Negative 1c squared or just negative c squared. Collect all the c's. There's 4 of them. So I've got 7. If I put those together, 8, 17. And any numbers. Minus 18. That's as far as we can go. The one you got to watch out for is like the one that's the next example where it's minus, because it changes the sign. Now remember, what does this mean? It means take the whole thing in parentheses and multiply it by itself. So that's what it means. And then I'm going to do 4 multiplications here, answer in parentheses. 4 multiplications here, answer in parentheses. Take them out by subtracting, and then collect. So 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. 3x times 2y is plus 6xy. 2y times 3x is 6yx, or I'm just going to write it 6xy to keep it consistent with the other one. 2y times 2y gives me plus 4y squared. And that product has to stay together, so I need parentheses. Minus, now the other multiplication. 3x times 2x gives me 6x squared. 3x times minus 4 gives me minus 12x. Y times 2x gives me plus 2yx, or I'm going to write 2xy because it's consistent with the other ones. Yes. And y times minus 4 gives me minus 4y. When I take out the parentheses here, does anything happen? No, because there's no minus. So it's just 9x squared plus 6xy plus 6xy plus 4y squared. But the next one, things happen, right? Because it's going to be minus 6x squared and then minus negative 12x, which becomes plus 12x, minus 2xy, which is just minus 2xy, and minus negative 4y, which becomes positive 4y. And now I have to collect all like terms. So if I collect the x's, what do I get? 3x squared. If I collect all the xy's, there's 3 of them. Positive 10xy. Y squared, no, there's only one of them. Nothing to combine. X's, anything to combine? No, nothing to combine it with. This I've already done. This? Anything to combine it with? No. So that's fine. Final answer. That was a pretty lengthy one. Okay, here's a slightly different word problem. We're given 2 rectangles, a big one and a small white one, and we're asked to find the area of the shaded region. How would you find it? How would you find just the blue? What would you do? Like what areas would you find, and then what would you do after that? Yeah, find the area of the big one, find the area of the small one, and subtract them. So how do we find the area of rectangles? Length times width. So therefore, the area is going to be the length times width of the big one. Now remember, those have to stay together. If we've got more than one term, we have to assume parentheses. So it's going to be 2x minus 2 times x plus 1. The area of the small one is going to be x times x minus 2. And then to get the shaded region, the blue region, I subtract the big area by the small area. So this is the big rectangle. This is the small rectangle. See if you can do it.